Hello. Good day. So I'm here with Karen Newell from Virginia, and we are the 7th of November recording this for our 11/11 day, but on a crucial day right before the American election. We have just been talking about how significant this is. So welcome, Karen. Nice to see you, and thank you for making time to be with us.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Nice to see you too, Swan.
So we were just talking, about the experience of oneness and how we can be using sound to help us have that experience more regularly, but also how you use that in your work with Eben, particularly after his coma experiences and near-death experiences, to help him integrate that very high frequency of the heavenly realms that he was plunged into. So I'd love you to tell us more about how you work with sound and how the different ways it can help people.
Yes, well, Eben was drawn to our sound because he wanted to mimic the effects of his meningitis, and our particular style of brain entrainment technology actually helps to settle that constant little voice that's making lists, that telling us we're not good enough, that voice that is always kind of in the background that can get in the way when we try to get into deep meditative states. And he found that the sound was able to help him get into states where he could leave the physical here and now behind and actually reconnect with the realms that he encountered during his extraordinary near-death experience. And we together teach other people how they can access these realms without having to go through an experience such as his. And so many walks of life can benefit from brain entrainment technology, all kinds of sound, really. There's mantras and toning and tuning forks, but our technology takes digital frequencies and helps to drive the brain state from our walking around busy beta state to a deeper, more delta theta state that's associated with deep sleep and dreaming. We really try to induce what is termed a hypnagogic state or hypnopompic state. Now, we're all in this state every single day when we wake up in the morning first thing or when we're trying to fall asleep at night. Kind of that space between awake and dreaming, where we're not really paying attention to our physical reality. We're still kind of in that sleep space. And so these tones can get us there in the middle of the day. You don't need to be in that state. And it really allows you to open up and access the unseen realms that are typically not available to us and very consciously connect. Now, one of the things that I do is I will resonate, I will have an intention of being love. And if love is too difficult, in that moment, I might do just gratitude for whatever's happening right then and there. And if you can generate that feeling of gratitude, there's a concept in science, like attracts like. And so if you are trying to resonate that feeling and then listen to the tones can help to, like I said before, get the physical matters out of the way, but then they can also help to resonate and expand that intention that you have in your own system and help you to attract more of that gratitude or love. And amazing things can happen when you settle into these tones with this type of feeling. All kinds of things can happen. And I like to say there are 7 billion plus people on the planet, and there's that many ways to experience these. We're all very unique, and it seems that the tones that we create and other types of sounds seem to awaken something that's already in an individual and helps us to either remove past trauma and then connect with that greater self of who we really, truly are vibrationally.
Because, sound obviously has the potential to reprogram our cellular structure, so it goes much deeper than just a temporary rebalancing of, our attitude from maybe anger or frustration to love and gratitude.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It's not just a temporary thing while you're listening. When you can practice resonating, these types of things in a meditative state, it's much easier to reconnect with that when you're going through your daily life. So if you're in a tense business meeting or a relationship situation, one thing that you can do is, if you've practiced these states in meditation, you can recall what that was, or remember a mantra that you used during meditation, and it can bring you back to that state much more easily than if you had not practiced. And in those types of tense moments, you can actually bring a sense of peace and actually help resolve some conflict. So let's hope that some of those politicians in Washington, D.C. are doing such things, because anyone who is involved with helping other people, like our politicians are, like any kinds of healers, anyone who does that sort of thing can really benefit from focusing on their own energy. So many people are trying to help others fix their energy, their energetic systems for healing. And it really is, goal one is to focus on yourself, no matter what you do, and help your own internal being become more of that true essence of who you are. And in the bottom line of all of this, Evan Alexander, of course, learned this on his journey. We are all at the core made of love. And so the more of us who can focus on expanding that love and becoming that love through sound, through whatever means you have, that's how we can really start to raise the consciousness of the planet and really help our fellow humans realize that they are also that love. Another thing that I like to speak about is the HeartMath Institute in California, who actually studies the effect of our electromagnetic field of the heart on other people around us. And they have found that people who are, they call it coherency, but people who are coherent or very focused on their heart energy actually affect the people around them who are not doing anything of the kind. And so this is a really powerful way to affect other people without saying a word. Just by holding your energy a certain way, that kind of forms a template of energy that others line up to. And so there are many, many levels of effect that we can have by focusing on love in our own selves, and sound is a beautiful tool to assist us in getting there.
Well, that's right. And of course, as soon as we can turn the mind off, sometimes it's even hard to reach that level of gratitude. But listening to sound and having those frequencies that put us into delta mode help us soften into at least a level of acceptance of whatever it is that we're facing and struggling with. And really, that's going to be a huge key for the planet, isn't it? And how we turn things around.
Yes, and that state can really help us rise above what we think is so important in our daily lives, even our election, the little things that are going on, or even what seem like big things. They're all part of a grander purpose. And in meditative states, we can kind of rise up out of that and have a completely different viewpoint. If you subscribe to, for example, we are birth to death and nothing more, just this one lifetime, it can seem a little desperate, a little can get a little cynical about why these bad things are happening. But if you can step back and see that there's much bigger cycles at play, and that these kinds of seemingly huge, unsurmountable conflicts in our personal lives or for the world, sometimes those are big opportunities for soul growth. But it takes kind of rising above them and seeing them from a bigger picture before we can really understand why we need to go through certain things. And I think a lot of times it doesn't become clear until after the problem is resolved. And one thing that we can find, one thing that's useful is to look back in your life at a incredibly tumultuous, horrible seeming experience, but realize maybe 10 years, 5 years or more later, oh my gosh, if I hadn't gone through that hardship, I wouldn't have gotten this, or I wouldn't be this person. And very often we find that those hardships are actual gifts. And so in the middle of a hardship, it can be very useful to keep that in mind, that there's a greater plan afoot and that you are a part of that plan. This is not happening to you, it's happening to us. And in the end, we are all connected. We are all in this together. We are all playing our roles. And together we can really rise above the drama of our daily lives and the planet and really start to get to some greater solutions. And it all starts with finding that love and gratitude in ourselves. And as you say, it can be difficult, but sound technology can really provide an assistance in helping us to put that aside in those moments.
Well, it helps us come back into a unity within, doesn't it? So we're moving beyond duality and balancing left and right, masculine and feminine, macrocosmic and microcosmic consciousness, which is really what's playing out on the world scene too.
Yes, absolutely. And if you prescribe to the fact that we're spiritual beings having a physical experience, we are primarily spiritual. And that spiritual essence, so many people like Dr. Alexander, who had his near-death experience, and many, many thousands, if not millions of others who have felt that spiritual energy, know deep down that it's made of love and that we're all part of it. And we forget that and we minimize that and we think, well, it's not important. But if we can tap into that energy and bring even just a tiny fraction of it into our daily lives, into our here and now, it can make such a huge, huge difference. And many people who listen to our tones who are maybe depressed or have PTSD and anxiety, they find that the tones help them in ways that traditional types of medicines and therapies have been unable to help. And what the reason being is that it gets them in touch with who they really are and not just masking or trying to diminish certain symptoms. They're able to focus on aligning with that greater self, and the symptoms seem to just fade away. And so, not to say that it's any kind of miracle cure, but it's a beautiful thing for people to at least try an alternative to those traditional types of Western medicines in order to see perhaps that you could have a greater benefit and less side effects on your body. And people with continuous pain tell us that when they're able to listen to our tones and rise above those physical sensations, their physical pain actually lessens. So there's many, many potential benefits. And of course, we're focusing on raising consciousness above all. But the kinds of things that can affect you are things like pain and depression of everyday life. And so there's so many, many reasons that sound can help people to have a better day, a better life, and a better planet. There's just all different levels that can be affected.
Yes, that's right. And of course, the experiences we have of love might look very different when we talk about higher love or divine love, and the lessons that we're being taught to very often are sort of more codependent view in the world of what love should be like, because a lot of people think love is all, fluffy and light, and it can be very challenging. And divine love, in my experience, can really face us with some very challenging lessons, and we're seeing that on the planet.
Yes. And when you have certain experiences during meditation, it's not all happy, as you say. Sometimes it's very necessary to clear past trauma. Yeah. Because so many of us just, especially as you say in love relationships, if we've been hurt, we shut down our hearts and we store that pain there. And later when we try to tap into it, it hurts. And so we kind of resist it. But it's really important to actually face and clear out those past traumas, both individually and as a planet, so that we can fill it with that true energy of who we really are.
Yes.
And I think we included meditation that I provided for this event. Would you like me to describe that now?
Yeah, perfect. But we're going to play that right after we finish our dialogue. So you tell us about it.
Yeah, so the best thing, this is a Sacred Acoustics recording, and you can find more out about us at sacredacoustics.com. But this particular recording is built with our Om frequencies. Now, Dr. Eben Alexander, interestingly, that is the sound he heard in the core, deepest part of his experience, and that was the resonance that he felt at the core of all being. But Om has a long history on our planet of being a very primordial sound that especially the Hindus developed, and it comes up a lot in different types of mantras, and that Om sound is really one that can help bring you to the here and now, and it's a really excellent foundation for starting a meditation session. And this particular recording is filled with Om frequencies, and we recommend that you listen to it using headphones. That is the best way to get the brain entrainment technique that we include in that recording. And depending on the quality of your speakers, you may find that going right to our website and getting the identical file as a free offering on your system may give you a more quality experience. But definitely try it with headphones, follow along, listen to the tones, and just let them carry you into a beautiful, hopeful experience.
Wonderful. And the meditation is how long?
It's a 20-minute meditation.
20 minutes.
And there is talking only for the first 3 minutes, and then you can just get carried away by the vibrational tones of Om.
Okay. And just give us our website link for anyone who's watching the video right now and wants to check out your website and get the recording there.
You can check out sacredacoustics.com, and there is a section that says free download. Just enter your email, and we'll send you a direct link to the original version of this recording.
Wonderful. And tell us, Karen, how you came to discover this and work with these particular sound frequencies.
Well, as we've been talking about, I was one of those people who understood the benefits of meditation. And I thought, well, I should learn how to meditate. And every time I tried, I couldn't do it. And it was sound that really helped me, as all the benefits we've been saying. Anything like tuning forks or crystal bowls, anything like that, but especially brain entrainment technology is what helped me kind of break through into those meditative states. And I kind of thought of them as training wheels. It's not necessarily something that, now many people do listen to them for long periods of time, for days and days on end, but I kind of use them as training wheels. And now I find I can get into those states much more readily than I could have before without the tones. And it really is a very helpful tool in getting through difficult periods of meditation.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, I'm looking forward to taking 20 minutes off this day to do the meditation with everybody and with you. And I'm going to be doing that right after 11 minutes past 11. So we've got some chanting, and then we'll be having your meditation. So that will be a wonderful way to help people come into the Delta state.
Yes, excellent.
And create more harmony within, which we can then emanate out around the world.
Exactly.
So I hope you will be playing your sound frequencies very loudly everywhere you go this week, so they'll be blasting out from your car windows and wherever you are.
What a great idea, yes.
Could you just drive right around the White House?
I could try if I could get close enough. Great idea. Or the Senate and Congress, the Capitol building. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, we can do that.
With loudspeakers and just...
Yes, for the highest and best good of all on the planet. That would be our goal.
Wonderful. Thank you, Karen. It's been great to talk to you today, and I look forward to more collaborations and co-creations.
Thank you, Swan. It's been great to share all of this information with the audience.